Battle of the Network shows. Join Rick Brooks and Mike Kogel as they explore the TV of the 70s and 80s through hand-picked episodes of their favorite and not-so-favorite series.
Welcome to another Battle of the Network Shows bonus episode. I'm Mike. I'm here with Rick, and today we're returning to an old favorite. We haven't done as a bonus episode yet, but we used to do as extra segments on episodes, the TV Guide game.
Yes, indeed.
Explain the rules?
In the TV Guide game, we go into the vast Battle of the Network shows archives, pull out a vintage TV guide from the era that we cover, and I'm going to read off some TV shows from a specific night from the era. And in this case, it'll be Wednesday, January 14th, 1987. So I'm going to tell Mike what was on that night, and he's going to say, or he's going to choose the shows he would have watched back in 1987. And then I'm going to try to guess the shows that he will pick.
Okay.
It's quite a challenge.
Yeah.
So there's some pressure on both of us. You have to make good choices. I have to make good guesses, but I think we're up for it.
Okay.
It's been a while, but I think it'll be easy to get back into it.
I hope so.
Fun, all the shows A to Z and the facts. What's behind what you see? TV Guide, the whole world of TV. That's entertainment. The stars underneath all the glow and the news from the people who know TV Guide. It's a fabulous show, so buy a TV Guide and read TV Guide. That's entertainment.
This issue of TV Guide has Ted Koppel on the cover. And, you know, must not have been a lot going on in January 1987. It's just kind of one of those, you could probably put Ted Koppel on any time, you know,
Yeah.
as opposed to like some big miniseries or movie or whatever. But it looks like an exciting night of television nevertheless, though. So we'll start at 8 p.m., and your choices at 8 p.m. are, okay, this is actually on, I thought it was a movie, but apparently it's billed as a CBS special presentation on CBS. It's called My Dissident Mom.
My Dissident?
Dissident, yes, Dissident Mom drama. And I guess this may be like a failed pilot or something. Here's the description. Annie Potts plays a discontented housewife who finds new meaning in her life and sparks a domestic crisis by joining a no-nukes protest against the company her husband, Martin Sheen, does business with. So Martin Sheen cast against type, apparently.
Well, yeah.
Lucas Haas is in the supporting cast, I guess as their son.
Wow.
And there's an ad for this that says, he builds weapons. She's working to ban them. They're both fighting for their children's future.
Wow.
My Dissident Mom. Martin Sheen, Annie Potts. 8 p.m. CBS.
I don't know what to do with this.
And it says, an interesting note in the ad, it says that it's a CBS Library of Congress Read More About It book project. So, educational.
Maybe based on a book.
Could be. All right, so this sounds educational too. On ABC at 8 p.m., Perfect Strangers. The guys need to find a way to put the romance back into Twinkie's marriage.
Twinkie?
And get him out of their apartment where he's been staying since his wife kicked him out. Twinkie was Ernie Sabella, who I guess was their landlord or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember his name being Twinkie, but...
No.
So that's what's going on in Perfect Strangers.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock on NBC, Highway to Heaven. Jonathan and Mark, Michael Landon and Victor French,
Sure.
tag along with an elderly street puppeteer, Dick Van Dyke, who's also an angel but doesn't know it yet.
Whoa.
Ooh, okay. We'll go to 8:30 p.m. on ABC. The other programs were 60-minute ones. But 8:30, see, on ABC, you don't just get Perfect Strangers. You get Head of the Class.
Oh, boy.
More disturbing than the death of Simone's favorite poet is what he left behind for her. A scathing criticism of the poem she had sent him. Ooh.
Ouch.
Simone was the Christine Hodge character, if you recall.
The redhead?
Yes, I believe so. Vincent Chiavelli is in the guest cast. Herman, I'm assuming he's the poet.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
And Joe Alasky is in the credits here. Isn't he like a big cartoon voice now, I think?
I think so, yeah.
And this is, to verify, this is a Howard Hessman episode.
Oh, good. Nothing against Billy Connolly, but when he's head of the class.
Well,
You want your Howard Hessman.
I want to give you all the information here, so I thought I'd better point that out.
Thank you.
Okay, now we got CBS at 9 p.m. Magnum P.I.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. It's the 1940s. The era of zoot suits, pinup girls, and Moonlight Serenade.
Sure.
And a gumshoe, Tom Selleck, investigates a newspaperman's murder by rounding up the usual suspects. A second wife, a daughter, a minister, a lawyer, even a butler.
What?
Filmed in black and white.
What?
Caldwell, John Hillerman. Reverend Bentley, Larry Manetti. A little departure for Magnum this week, I think.
I think so.
Very well written description, though, and even it's not even a regular ellipsis, it's like a super ellipsis with extra spaces between each period there. So at 9 p.m. on ABC, we've got Dynasty, and there's a full page ad for this in the preceding page that I'll let you see, but it has John Forsythe embracing and leaning in to kiss Joan Collins, and with the in italics at the bottom, "This is no dream."
Oh.
So
Is that,
a sultry photo.
do you think that's a dig at Dallas?
I believe it could be.
Whoa.
Take a look right now.
Yeah.
So
I like how much they dedicate to the picture.
yeah,
Like the Dynasty is fairly discreet.
Mm-hmm.
And the This Is No Dream is definitely small.
Mm-hmm.
And just ABC and a time at the bottom, but
Right.
not a typical TV Guide ad. Also, the full page.
It almost looks like a perfume ad. Like the font
Yes.
on the Dynasty looks almost like that Calvin Klein font, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, here's what happens in the episode. An oil rig explosion leaves Blake, John Forsythe, critically injured and mentally confused, and starts Alexis, Joan Collins, scheming. Meanwhile, news of the accident sends Crystal, Linda Evans, in search of her husband, Adam. In search of her husband. Adam, Gordon Thompson, keeps a secret from his family. These semicolons here are confusing me.
Yeah.
Sammy Joe, Heather Locklear, finds a friend in Steven, Jack Coleman. Also in the cast here, just so you know, playing Clay is Ted McGinley. So Ted McGinley is on board for this episode of...
Goodbye, Dynasty.
It's not a dream, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Ted McGinley's on board, huh? Well, I think that covers CBS, ABC, and NBC had...
Yeah, what did NBC?
NBC here.
After Highway to Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting. Okay. I think this is a local thing here, but the NBC affiliate has college basketball. It's also on ESPN, so it's like kind of a simulcast thing.
Part of the Jefferson Pilot Network?
Perhaps, yeah. That's good. So, North Carolina at Virginia. After jumping off to a 21-0 record last season, Carolina received their first loss at the hands of the Cavaliers. They later returned the favor in an 85-79 win. The Tar Heels lead the all-time series 88-33.
It is ACC, yeah.
This TV guide is from the Virginia, the Richmond area, so
Okay.
this game was a big deal back then. So it looks like, several of the NBC affiliates are showing it, but I don't think it's an NBC network telecast. It's very, very interesting. Although, actually, that's actually probably a PBS thing. So let's move on to 10 p.m.
Okay.
On CBS, we've got Equalizer. Not The Equalizer, according to the listings, just Equalizer, which I thought it was the Equalizer, but...
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. Control, Robert Lansing, becomes McCall's client when a KGB agent who infiltrated a think tank is killed. McCall, Edward Woodward. Kosmeyer, Keith Zarbachka. Brian Bedford is in the guest cast as Coble, for what that's worth.
Okay.
On ABC, Hotel. A famous singer is reunited with her long-lost niece, Julie, played by Sherry Belafonte Harper.
Oh.
Megan, Heidi Bohey, intercepts a package meant for Dave, Michael Spound. McDermott and Christine, James Brolin, Connie Sellecca, search for time alone. Billy, Nathan Cook. Also in the cast, Leslie Uggams and Shirley Jones.
Okay.
And I think that's going to cover it. I feel like I owe you maybe another choice here because of the college basketball game.
Yeah. Anything happening on PBS?
Well, PBS has a couple of things happening. National Geographic at 8.
Okay.
The series' 12th season opens with David and Carol Hughes' 3-year study of lions of the African night and other creatures that inhabit South Africa's Kruger National Park. The film focuses on a pride of 30 lions, supreme masters of relaxed living, which spend 20 hours a day lazing, sleeping, and playing. But late at night, the cats are relentless predators, sometimes stalking prey for 10 miles, then battling for the choicest parts. While the lions sleep, the filmmakers also observe rain frogs, which only surface after heavy downpours, ant lions, nocturnal creatures that dig holes in which to trap prey, porcupines. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic at the end of that description. Narrator Richard Kiley. Then after that, at 9 p.m., it's Mother Teresa, a documentary on Mother Teresa that gets a close-up treatment. Richard Attenborough is the narrator of that.
Well, of course.
And next week, the 6-part documentary series Eyes on the Prize begins, according to the TV Guide.
Okay.
I like how they point that out as a little heads up.
That is helpful.
And I'm looking through the listings. There's some cool stuff on, I see like Jackie Gleason on at 10:30 on one of these stations, and the Honeymooners on at TBS at 7:30. The Postman Always Rings Twice is playing on TBS.
TBS showed the Honeymooners?
Yeah, the Lost episodes.
Oh.
I think when they first were released to TV, they picked them up for a while.
Okay.
And I see wrestling on USA for 2 hours. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe primetime wrestling was on Wednesdays at that time, I guess. So, there are your choices. Would you like to know what's on Nick at Night?
Nah. Well, you can tell me.
I might as well, since that might interest our listeners. So.
Sure.
Oh, on Channel 5, an independent station has Fast Break on from 8 to 10 with Gabe Kaplan. So that's on there, too. But Nickelodeon starts off with Donna Reed at 8, followed by Mr. Ed at 8:30, My Three Sons at 9, and Southern at 9:30. And at 10 p.m., they go to I Spy.
Huh.
So there's no episode descriptions in the TV Guide for those reruns, which is a little disappointing. But so there's quite a lot. Some of your maybe favorites in there, some of your not as favorites, but lots of choices, I would say.
Okay.
Some interesting things here. Not sure I know a lot about some of these, but let me know when you've made your choices.
Okay.
I'm just kind of looking around. Wherever this channel 53 or 63 is, it seems like my kind of channel. I mean, they've got Hogan's Heroes on at 8, and Gomer Pyle, Andy Griffith. Well, I'm not a huge fan of some of these. Carol Burnett, and then Jackie Gleason at 10. Gomer Pyle again. Well, they must really like Tales of the Unexpected at 11:30. And at midnight on this channel 63, At the Movies. And the hosts on this one are Bill Harris and Rex Reed, discussing their choices for the best movies of 1986.
I remember Rex Reed being on that for a while.
Yeah, I remember Bill Harris. He was like, had a big mustache, and he was like, he was kind of Showtime's resident entertainment guy for a while. He seemed to be on TV a lot back then.
I think Rex Reed's personality overshadowed him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Well, as ready as I can be.
Okay.
All right, so I've got to choose 8 and 8:30 to 9 as need be.
Yeah.
9 to 10 and 10 to 11, basically. So, all right, my choice for what you picked at 8 p.m., I'm going to go with Highway to Heaven with our friends Michael Landon, Victor French, and Dick Van Dyke.
Well, it was close. I definitely spent some time watching that show during its initial run, but I went with probably the more likely would have been Head of the Class and Perfect Strangers and Head of the Class.
You went with the ABC comedy.
Yeah,
okay.
I definitely gave those two in particular some of my time.
Okay.
That's possible not. I'm not wowed by the description of the Head of the Class.
No, that seems like kind of a plan.
I don't remember that character being all that interesting. I don't remember any of the characters being all that interesting.
There's that, yeah.
But her in particular.
Yeah, okay. I liked her, but you got a point there.
And of course, I mean, watching now, I might choose Highway to Heaven because of Dick Van Dyke and because of certain things about Head of the Class I don't want to think about.
Yeah.
But
right.
or mention on a family show.
Right.
Anyway. And
Okay.
that National Geographic thing sounds familiar.
Yeah, they gave that a real big, long write-up in the TV Guide.
Huh.
Yet I can't get any information on what episode of Donna Reed is airing on Nickelodeon. Come on, TV Guide. Get your priorities straight.
They can only work with what they get.
Nah, that's true. Maybe that's Nick at Night's fault. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
9 o'clock,
okay, 9
Go
o'clock,
ahead.
yes.
yes.
Okay, this is kind of oddball with the inclusion of the college basketball, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say you met with Magnum PI over Dynasty and college basketball.
For sure. Yeah. As soon as you said 1940s, I knew what episode
Yeah.
you were talking about.
It sounds like a fun episode.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
I do. I think it might be. I think he might get like bonked on the head or something. And, have this- and it helps him solve his case now.
You know, there's something indignant about Magnum getting bonked in the head. It seems kind of inappropriate for him.
Right.
You know, like Frank Drebin gets bonked in the head. Magnum, you think, would get maybe clubbed in the head, but
It might be clubbed.
yeah. But now that I think about it, I do kind of want to see Magnum get bonked in the head and
Right.
like a cartoonish sound effect and
Yeah.
just drops like a rock. Well, that one probably wasn't too agonizing a decision for you, was it?
No, I made it as soon as you said Magnum PI.
Yeah,
honestly.
that was game over, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting at 10 p.m., where I am going to say, well, it's essentially we've got college basketball. You could flip over and catch the second half of that.
Which,
It
potential.
seems like a good game, yeah. Equalizer or Hotel, and I'm going to go with Equalizer.
I've never really watched that show.
Okay.
I don't know if I really watched Hotel either. I think I was curious about it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know one of the actors from The White Shadow was on there for a while. That might have been my interest. And obviously Connie Sellecca.
Yeah.
So that's what I picked.
Hotel. Interesting.
Yeah. Now the basketball too. I was a Georgia Tech fan, so I followed the ACC some.
Yeah.
I don't remember watching a lot of non-Georgia Tech games. I don't even know if they would have shown up in Atlanta. I guess on ESPN, but
Yeah.
not on the regular.
I can say with confidence that I probably would have been watching Carolina. Actually, I was a big Carolina basketball fan, and probably would have been watching that. And I probably would have watched the ABC sitcoms at 8. But yeah, so you get an interesting episode on Hotel. Looks like there's a lot of intrigue.
Yeah, plus
Especially
Shirley Jones and Leslie Uggams.
Yeah, and James Brolin and Connie Sellecca searching for time alone.
Oh.
I imagine that was maybe the lighter episode of that, or lighter segment of that episode. Unfortunately, there's not a full-page ad to tell me about that one, like there's with Dynasty.
Yeah.
I feel like we should give some love for the Dynasty ad again.
It's a
'Cause
good ad.
That's the highlight of this night for me.
Yeah.
That and maybe the Magnum episode, but
Yeah.
And-
Clearly making a statement.
yeah, indeed. And I'll tell you what else is making a statement. My Dissident Mom. I don't know what kind of statement it is. It might be making a statement.
Can I see that?
Oh yeah, certainly. Please see take a look at the ad. It might be making a statement that it's January and it's not sweeps and we don't really have much else to show here. But I don't know, with Annie Potts and Martin Sheen.
Right, and a mushroom cloud blowing up above them.
Yeah, even more explosive than Dynasty, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Young Lucas Haas probably coming off of Witness, and a girl.
I'm totally confused because
Right, written by, and I don't recognize either of those names. So
yeah, I'm not sure the pedigree on that one. It looks like it should be a TV movie, right?
yeah,
But yet it's 60 minutes and it's just called a CBS special presentation. And can you imagine a series called My Dissident Mom?
no, unless it had like Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah. It was nowhere to be seen in that one, at least in the TV Guide description. But that's an odd one. I'm curious about that one. So I'm
Stop
gonna,
being a dissident, Mom.
Yeah.
You'll get into trouble. Set in Russia instead of the one he had.
Yeah. What a Country.
Oh, the country, yeah.
Yeah. The prequel to What a Country with My Dissident Mom.
Dissident Mom.
Yeah. Well, I was 1 for 3
Yeah,
in the time slots.
TV Guide game. There's a lot of variables.
There sure is. Anything can happen, which is one reason I think we love the game.
Yeah.
Unlike that North Carolina-Virginia matchup, which it seemed kind of lopsided, really. So I don't blame you for not going with that.
Who do you think would have won that?
Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a...
Is this post Ralph Sampson?
Yes, I think it's post-Ralph Sampson.
Jordan?
This probably would be... Those would be post-Jordan, too.
Post Jordan, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who... I mean, Carolina at any given time has like 3 NBA guys on their team.
J.R. Reed, maybe?
Yeah, that could be J.R. Reed. I'm trying to think of who would be Virginia's...
Yeah.
And really, the bottom line is North Carolina, according to the TV Guide information, has like a 132-6 advantage in the series. So,
yeah, well,
I wouldn't put my money on the Cavaliers. In this
I
game.
guess I don't take much stock in those kind of stats.
It's not because it doesn't have
there's
any
so
bearing
much,
on what happens now.
Yeah, there's so much turnover.
Yeah.
Just other than, I don't know, is there an intimidation factor that they beat us 50 years ago? We just can't catch a break?
Could be. You should start a handicapping service where you talk about, just like throw out like, you know what, I don't care about this series. That doesn't mean anything. And just answer those, like ask those rhetorical questions for like 10 minutes on like a 1-900 number.
I mean, does it mean anything?
Yeah. And that was my pick of the week, folks.
Yeah. I mean, at least like in college, presumably you could follow it over 4 years.
Right.
But even then, there's turnover all through.
No, I'm not. I've heard a lot of people say the same kind of things that like that kind of trend makes no difference as far as like the future, except the sense that North Carolina usually had better players.
Yeah, I guess if you could say like North Carolina wins 95% of home games.
Yeah.
That might say something about how the crowd affects over time has affected other teams. And I don't know. I'm not a sports guy.
I don't know if Dick Vitale was getting into some of these finer points. He was probably just hoping it was awesome, baby.
What about the Schwab?
The Schwab?
He might have a convincing argument against me.
He could probably talk you into it one way or another.
Yeah.
So your official lock of the week for this week is Magnum PI and Hotel, I think.
Yeah.
Not North Carolina or Virginia.
No.
Well, that makes sense to me.
I guess, what was the PB?
Mother Teresa?
No, thanks. I don't know if I need 2 hours of Mother Teresa.
Well, that shows your true colors. Given the choice, you'll pick Connie Selleck over Mother Teresa. Shame on you.
Yeah. There we go. Another TV Guide game. Welcome back, TV Guide game. We missed you.
Nothing gets you into it like TV Guide.
Join us next time for another exciting episode of Battle of the Network shows. Learn more, leave feedback, and suggest future episodes at battleofthenetworkshows.com. Follow us on Twitter at BatNetShows and like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Battle of the Network Shows.